Thank you for clicking on the video today. My name is Bryon, and today I'm going to try to answer some questions about some camera equipment, how to handle different situations, programs that I use to run my business and edit my photos, and some other random things as well. Sit back, relax, enjoy. Hopefully you learned something from this. This first question is, what did you have to learn the hard way about shooting weddings? This could be a really juicy answer, I guess, for some people, but for me, it's honestly been really good. I have never had any equipment malfunctions while shooting a wedding. I have never had an SD card or anything like that fail on me or lose any of client projects, nothing like that. I always try to make sure that I back everything up really well. As soon as I get home, I put it on an external hard drive. I have it on the SD card still. I try to handle all of that as responsibly as possible so I don't run into those things. I would say the one thing that I had to learn the hard way, which is just from experience of doing it, is how to adapt and shoot in different lighting conditions. For weddings especially, sometimes you're indoors, sometimes you're outdoors. You can't really control the lighting completely unless you only shoot with flash. I would say about 90% of the time right now, I use natural light for all of my shots. I do have 2 Godox flashes that I have with me just in case I can't pull something off and I absolutely need it. But one of the things I would like to do going forward is slowing down a little bit, planning those shots out a little bit more, and being slightly more intentional with the single frames that I'm getting. That's something I would like to do moving forward. But as far as learning something the hard way, I haven't really ran into any major malfunctions or problems or anything like that. Being able to know your camera and know light and how to use any light that's available to your advantage, that's a very good skill to pick up. All right, this next question is, how did you learn to use the settings on the camera for certain photos? Trial and error, or do you have a person or YouTube channel you like to get help from? It depends on what sort of a look you go for, and it's completely personal preference up to the artist who's taking the photos perspective, and that's why certain people's photos will appeal to you more than other people's will. I have always, my whole entire life, have preferred in movies and everything else that I watch, a tighter frame. As a photographer wanting to shoot a lot of different variety of subjects and styles of photography and all of that, I really have to be conscious sometimes to take a step back, shoot with a wider angle lens, and not go in so close sometimes, because that's my natural preference. Get those establishing shots and set up like the scene that's in front of me, and then get those detail or like those emotional moments where you can really lock in on someone's eyes and see the emotion on their face. But as far as the settings on the camera, that depends on what sort of aperture you are using, which is how far the lens opens up to let the amount of light in, which in layman's terms, I guess, how blurry you would like your background to be. I tend to shoot everything pretty much wide open on whatever lens I'm using, which means if you're focused on whatever subject, as long as there's some distance between them and the background, there's going to be that nice dreamy blur to the background. That's what I personally like, and that's a lot of my style is that sort of a look, especially for portraits and stuff like that. I just really like the look of that. So to do that, you basically open up the lens to as wide as it will go, and that lets the light enter the lens and bounce around, which creates that blurry background. I can go in depth on camera settings in a different video and all that. That's definitely a whole thing to itself. Knowing what you don't want to shoot or how you don't want to shoot is just as valuable sometimes as knowing exactly what you want to shoot. I watch a lot of people on YouTube and have for years and years. I used to just go deep diving into how to do things. I'm just one of those people that if I'm doing something, I'm doing it 150%. Sometimes to my own detriment. That's an honest statement. Sometimes I spread myself a little bit too thin. Being open-minded and open to trying different stuff and figuring out what exactly I like and what my style is, rather than hopping on trends and trying to shoot things exactly like some other person just because I like what they do. I really made a focus to figure out my own voice and what my own style was. And I think that has separated me, especially in my local area from where I'm from. I'm not trying to be like anybody else. I'm not trying to copy anybody else. I'm just doing whatever I like to do and doing it how I want to do it. That way, there is no copycat. Like, no one else can be me. I'm the only me. That helps. This question is, the programs you use to edit photos, are they difficult to use or iPad compatible? About 99% of what I do photo-wise is in Adobe Lightroom. I am not a huge manipulator of the photos. Like, I don't alter the image a whole lot. I try to shoot things in camera how I want them to look. I kind of enhance some colors and shift a couple tones around just to give my sort of a style to the image. I really want to capture what is in front of me. And if I can't get that in the frame, I usually honestly just don't shoot it. As far as those programs being difficult to use, it kind of depends on the person. I'm very much into this sort of a thing, and like I said, I dive really deep down the rabbit hole whenever I get into something. So as soon as I started using this program, I watched hundreds of hours of YouTube videos of everyone I could think of using this program, which I will make some videos too about like my process, and I'm pretty sure that those are iPad compatible, but there are a lot of different programs to edit photos, and there are some free options as well if you're looking into that. Next question is, how easily was it to get your name out there? And then someone else asked also, what are the best ways to advertise for new clients? I never know what to post. So these kind of go hand in hand, and I literally just made a second business to go into topics like this and discuss different things about how to grow the business and all the back end sort of stuff. My name got out there pretty organically, like as I started making videos of myself doing music covers on YouTube. That's how I got into filming myself. I had a couple people that saw those videos. One of them, his name is Drew Bishop. He is a bodybuilder. I went to school with him, and he won the Missouri State bodybuilding competition. He asked if I would come film him for their upcoming prep going into the next show for the next year. I had just got started. It was a cool opportunity for me to work with someone who's really good at what they do and really passionate about it. So it gave me an opportunity not only to be around someone who is super dedicated to something and see that level of mental toughness and physical toughness, but also he didn't try to tell me to do things a certain way. I took that on. I did that for free because I just got started. I didn't even know what I would charge. I did that for him. I did it for free. I could use that stuff and started building up my skills on top of doing my own little filming YouTube covers and stuff. To this day, almost every person that I have ever done anything for, I could trace back to those roots of doing that stuff for Drew. Some people think that you should never ever do anything for free for anything less than a premium cost, and I wholeheartedly disagree with that. There should be a value exchange. If you are starting out, you are providing them value and they are providing you with value, and if you both are cool with that value exchange, then no money has to be introduced. Now, there are circumstances and times where if you're going to do this for a living, you clearly have to make money doing it. You have to make enough money and have enough clients to be able to sustain doing it for a living. That's where you get into a little bit different of a thing. But one thing that happens too, whenever you start getting into those areas, the people that really value what you're doing, they are going to see your value and they're going to want to pay you for it. Whenever you're first getting out, you're trying to make a name for yourself, and no one's ever seen any work from you. They don't know what you're capable of doing, and you honestly don't know what you're capable of doing. Why would you be asking for that kind of money for that? Some people get into these sorts of businesses just strictly to make money, and if that's what you're trying to do, then more power to you. My ultimate goal with doing photo and video stuff is not to just make a dollar. I want to get to know more people and be able to be a part of their life in some capacity and better their life in some capacity. And that's still my philosophy to this day. I will not charge someone a price that I wouldn't pay for my own service. Am I losing out on a little bit of money? Probably. I'm building up a really strong foundation and base of people who trust me. They know that I'm going to take care of them, and I will do everything that I can to take care of them. You're not just breaking even with me. You're getting at or above the value that was promised to you. That's how you build the strongest business. You build that solid foundation of that core group of people who really believe in you and what you're doing. They will tell everyone they know, all their friends, all their family, everyone they meet about you. You make that sort of impression on someone, and not for the fact that you can get something out of it. Go above and beyond for people with no expectation in return. That's how you get a really solid foundation. Bumps in the road occur, things don't go to plan 100% of the time, But if anything like that ever comes up, they know who you are. They know exactly what you are. And the other sort of question on there, the best way to advertise for new clients, it really depends on what you want to do. I would highly recommend whenever you're very first starting out, and I know the person who asked this question, you need to try a lot of stuff. This can be applied to anything in life. Try a lot of things out, and you can figure out what you like to do and what you don't like to do. There's a million different types of photography that you can do. You need to try them. Don't just pigeonhole yourself into only taking portrait photos or only taking nature photos. Try a lot of everything. Don't just go out one time and shoot something and be like, oh, that's definitely not for me. Give things a chance. After you've been doing this for a little while and you figure out what you like to do, what you don't like to do, then you can start narrowing down whenever you post on social media, whenever you're trying to engage with customers and bring new people in. You should only be posting what you want to shoot more of. This is important. You should only be posting what you want to shoot more of. And I'm not saying that you can't go out and shoot other things. If you absolutely do not want to shoot a wedding, then don't post wedding photos on your business page. If they don't know who you are and they see the first thing they see from you is a newborn photo, if you don't ever want to shoot it again, then that's a bad thing. I shoot newborn photos still, but I never ever post newborn photos. And it's pretty much been filtered down to friends and family. I'm not actively pursuing people to come to me for that. This is where this all comes full circle. If someone hasn't seen a wedding photo that you've shot, but you really want to pursue wedding photography, then find someone who's getting married, offer your services to them at a price which they are comfortable in taking that chance on you, because you don't have examples of all the stuff you can do in this scenario. Then doing that wedding and being able to blow their minds at how well you did, for one, they're going to be very happy that you exceeded their expectations, and two, they are going to refer you to everybody they know, more business coming to you, and you will have those examples of the photos you took to be able to post to hopefully bring in more clients for that style as well. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to spend a few minutes with me. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully this provided you with any sort of a little different perspective than what you've heard in the past. If you have any questions you'd like me to answer in the future, leave them in the comment section down below. And while you're down there, hit the like button, share it with someone else. It really actually helps. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.